On Point with Joe Parker.
Welcome back. It's time for On Point, and today we're talking about an ordinance that was proposed down in Royal Oak that was rejected. It's an ordinance that actually, it's a way of life that actually works for about 12 communities here in the state of Michigan, but Royal Oak said no. What is it? It's whether, I'm going to read a little part of it, because as much as it seems to revolve around homosexuality, it also has other things involved in this. It's an anti-discrimination ordinance is basically what it is, and it also included body weight, it included disability, it included race. But a major sticking point and a major problem for a lot of the voters, according to this that I'm reading here, I'm going to have a couple of guys who are going to talk about this on either side, is that it also included sexual orientation. Now, Royal Oak said no. By a margin of better than 2-1, they turned down this ordinance. The no votes were 8,864. The yes votes, 4,296. A couple of guys on either side of me here going to talk about this issue today and why it should have passed or why it was right that it didn't pass. I'll let them make those choices. Todd Heywood to my left, he's a local activist. I'm sure you're very familiar with Todd. He's in the paper all the time. Just talking about he gets an awful lot of press, and deservedly so. He makes a lot of noise in the area, and he cares about a lot of things. To my right, John Mangopoulos makes a lot of noise in his own right. Battle of Ideas is the name of the program. John, thank you for coming back today. You've both been on the program before. I'm going to start with you, Todd. Why did this go down in Royal Oak, and why was it so important to get this proposed down there?
Okay, well, I think, first of all, that we need to take one step back.
Okay.
The Royal Oak situation is a little different than what we've dealt with historically with civil rights ordinances. In this particular situation, the Royal Oak City Council dodged its responsibility to make law and said, you know what, we'll just put this vote to civil rights to the people and let them vote it down.
But isn't that the way of America, though? I mean, isn't it the way that we do things here?
In 1964, if we'd have put the Civil Rights Act before the voters, it would never have passed.
Okay.
So that's the first issue. But the second issue is this is a law that simply says you cannot discriminate in housing and employment. That's it. And it doesn't say, you know, you have to hire homosexuals if you're a church. It doesn't say that all Boy Scouts are going to suddenly become gay. It doesn't say that, I'm trying to remember some of the other horror things that they used. One of the tactics they used down in Royal Oak was that it was going to increase a tax levy on anybody who didn't hire a certain.
Well, some were saying there was a lot of misinformation going on down there. Is that why you think this went down?
Absolutely, absolutely. They used fear and they used lies to win. The fact is that 80% of Americans, according to a recent Gallup poll, believe that gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people should not be discriminated against. What they don't understand is that many people in this country don't have laws protecting.
Was this an anti-discrimination ordinance, or was it a pro-equality ordinance? And I think there is a little bit of a difference there.
I think it codifies equality, is what it says. It says you can't discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation or height or weight or disability. Disability and sexual orientation, by the way, are not in state law. So it is completely legal to walk up to somebody, say you have a disability. I can walk up to you and say, Joe, you know, you do a great job on the air, you're a great news anchor, but you know, your disability, well, we just can't have somebody with a disability on the air.
And you can fire me if you like.
And you have no legal recourse under state law.
Okay, well, what do you think, John? It's not fair.
Well, it most certainly is fair, because what was being attacked here is the very core of our civilization. We have, at least we used to have, the right to freely associate with whomever we wanted to associate with, all right? And we used to have private property rights. Now, private property rights and freedom of association are being trumped by people who, frankly, want to bring their bedroom out in public. Hey, listen, I've heard the arguments, hey, stay out of my bedroom. Fine, I'm glad to stay out of your bedroom, but don't bring your bedroom out in public. Don't bring your bedroom to work with you. Don't bring your bedroom wherever you go. Leave your bedroom at home and I won't be in it. But when you bring it out in public and you expose my children to it, then we've got a problem. I am not ever going to accept being forced to associate with homosexuals. It's not going to happen. You can pass whatever law you want. Now, if you want to talk about what do Americans believe, if my opponent on the program tonight actually believes that America has come to the place where they accept homosexuals to this level, 80%, then I suggest that restaurants that have homosexuals working in the kitchen, they ought to put a big sign out in front that says, we have homosexuals working in our kitchen, and let's just see if 80% of the public continues to patronize those restaurants. He's living in a dream world. It's not true. People do not accept it. Why don't they accept it? Because this is a major shift in our paradigm.
In the very beginning, John, and I appreciate you. You're on a roll there, and I've got to slow you down a second.
Okay.
You say that it used to be that we were free to associate with whomever we wanted
That's
to, but
correct.
we also used to separate blacks and whites in schools. So I would assume from that statement that you started with that you would be for segregation. Am I right?
I'm not for segregation, but I'm not for forcing
There
people.
were a lot of white people back in the 50s who
I am
said,
not-
I do not want my kids to go to
Right.
school with black people.
Right, and there are people today who say it's okay to segregate smokers from non-smokers. What I'm saying is you can't legislate civility. You can't make people under the force of law love each other. I am saying to you, I'm not in favor of segregation, but I'm not in favor of using the power of government to force people to mingle. That's the difference. I want people to mingle. I want them to mingle freely. I don't want the government telling me who can be my friend, who can be my employer, who can be my employee.
Okay, well, if it were up to you, would you want to would you, if you had a choice, choose not to live next door to a homosexual couple?
I would absolutely choose to not live next door to a homosexual couple. I don't want my
So
children
therefore, you
seeing
would like to have the right to stop them from buying a house
No,
or
I
renting
didn't
a
say
place
that.
there or something like that.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. What I'm saying is I don't want their sexuality shoved down my throat. I don't want to
Excuse
be
me, John.
Are you shoving your sexuality down his
Well,
throat?
actually, John, I want you to hold up your left hand, please. On there is a ring, a wedding ring,
Right.
which is shoving your heterosexuality and your supremacy as a heterosexual down my
If you want
throat.
me to apologize for 4,000 years of human history, if you want me to apologize for the Ten Commandments, if you want me to apologize for God's sanction of a man and wife getting married for holy matrimony, of which homosexuals can never have any part of. That's the way the universe
John,
was
we're
made.
not- John,
If you
we're
want
not
me to
talking about your Christianity
If you want
here.
me to apologize...
John, stop
Let's
for a
not
second.
talk...
We're not talking about your Christianity.
I'll stop you guys for a second.
I'm
Here's
not
the deal.
talking Christianity.
I'm wearing a wedding ring on my left hand as well. I'm not flaunting anything in your face. I'm not saying that I'm better, worse, or any
But
any
what
way
does that message
more
say,
than
Joe?
equal to
Yeah.
you. Oh, the message says that, hey, ladies out there, I'm taken. As much as you might want
Right.
to come up and talk to me. And that's a way of me saying, I am taken.
And if all
I'm in a love
homosexuals-
relationship with somebody.
And if all
If you
homosexuals
chose to
did-
wear a ring to say that you were together with somebody,
And if all
more power to
homosexuals
you.
did was wear a ring, that ring doesn't say whether or not I'm heterosexual or homosexual. If all you did was wear a ring, we wouldn't have a problem. What we do have a problem with is the kind of marches that we have seen, the kind of displays, the kind of blatant, open, in-your-face sexuality. We don't want our kids
John,
to see
hold on
that.
a second. Would you agree that gay people are discriminated against? Would you agree with that?
I am saying that
a yes or no.
Do you in your life discriminate against gay people?
gays, I'm sure, are discriminated against. I'm sure that... let me ask you this.
Are you a proponent
Are
of discriminating
conservative
against
Christians
gay people?
discriminated against? I'm out in public. I give my views. I'm radically pro-life. I'm
Right,
anti-homosexual. But
right.
let me ask you this. You think I could get a job anywhere I want? Let me tell you what happened to me last year, and this is important. And let me ask my guest what he thinks about what happened
My
to me.
guest.
I forgot this is your show.
This is my show.
This is your show, Joe. I forgot
Okay, wrap
about
it up,
that.
John. Come on.
All right, last year I needed some work done on my house.
Right.
I had contractors come and give me quotes,
Right.
some serious work.
Sure.
I get all these quotes in, and I'm trying to decide which one to go. One guy doesn't give me a quote. He faxes me a letter because he wasn't man enough to face me on my political views. He faxes me a letter, and he says, listen, buddy, I hate you, don't want to have anything to do with you, I will not do business with you.
Those are his
You know what the
shortcomings.
difference is?
Should you do the same thing to Todd because of how he
difference,
lives his
John,
life?
wait,
Stop, John. Todd's got to go now. You've
The
gone for a while.
difference, John, is that you legally have recourse as a Christian and as under your political affiliations. Those are covered under state law.
Let me tell you
as
my
a gay man,
recourse is.
Hold on.
As a gay man who has been fired as a gay man and been told, I'm firing you because you're gay. Your behavior, your actions as an employee have been outstanding,
Hey.
but because you're gay, you're fired.
I'm sorry.
I have no legal recourse, John.
What's his
That's
recourse?
the
Because
difference.
he's living that in his bedroom. But
what do you want your recourse to force people to love you and like you? Listen to me. You want to know what my recourse was? My recourse was to be a man and to do business with another contractor. Actually, I was very happy that he told me his views. I wouldn't want him to get my money. The guy was stupid. He could have taken money from John Mangopoulos.
But you
who
don't
didn't get it,
have to
someone
love
else
him
did.
or like him. You just have to let him work.
I
What
want
is
that.
preventing him from
Look.
keeping his job? You know that there are employers out there that have done this to Todd. They've said, you're gay, you're fired,
Yeah.
that's the way it goes. Is that fair?
And-
His gayness has nothing to do with his job performance.
Let me tell you something. If his gayness was private, then it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem. The reason why this guy didn't want to do work for me is because he saw my television show. He hated me for what I believe. Should I sue him? Should I waste my time? Should I be a crybaby like you guys? Why don't you grow up and go work whether you are accepted?
I
Why
think
don't
there's
you
an
start
issue
your
of
own
dealing
job?
with
Why don't you start
legality and fairness.
Start your
here,
own
John.
company, employ your own people, hire
Fairness
homosexuals,
and
do what
legality
you want, but don't
in a
force
civil
us to
society.
Part one is
associate.
over. We're going to do a part two at 11 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, we'll come back with your phone calls and your emails. Part two coming up at 11.